Hi chaps, MOP here from Beard, Biceps and Batchat. Today's video is a 8 on 8 clan fight tier 10 on Himmelsdorf. And this video, unlike the other ones I've done, not last week, the week before, we'll do both rounds on Himmelsdorf in the same video, just so you don't get bored of the videos. And the next clan fight video will be the second round that we did on Westfield. So on Himmelsdorf, especially for clan fights on 8s versus 8s, it's very difficult to cover all angles of approach. So the general angles of approach are the 0 line, the 1-2 line, the 5 line and the 3 line. You literally cannot cover enough of it. So what we decided to do, I should point out, sorry, before I continue on, Daniger very kindly did the calling on this fight, came up with our strategy for it as well. And his strategy was we pushed a medium up the 0 line to sit on the very ridge of the hill just to poke over to see if they're pushing aggressively, while our heavies took a position down the D line. Now the reason we've taken a position down the D line is we wanted to make sure there wasn't an aggressive push across the middle where they lined up across the E line and used our houses as cover. We can also react if they push down the 8 line aggressively, or down the 3 line aggressively, or the 1-2 line aggressively. So we wanted to be a little bit more reactionary in this game than potentially we have been in other clan fights, just because, as I said before, there are so many avenues open. So the tanks we've gone for is E5s, 3 really horrible autoloaders, 2 waffles and a T57. The reason for that is with so much cover around, with so much hard cover, it's very easy for a T57 to get its reload off, it's easy for a waffle to get its reload off after blowing its clip. So what we're looking to do at this point is just to gather as much information as possible. At this point we've realised they're pushing the hill as their red heavies appear on the 0 line. We know our medium is going to get pushed, so what we've got to decide to do here is, do we push aggressively on these 2 heavies in front of us where we've got overwhelming guns and numbers against these 2, take them out, then look to address the heavies that are pushing over the 0 line, or do we leave them and push back to B4 into the houses with windows that cover the cap and covers the roads down the A and the C line? So what we've decided to do is the latter. We decided if we push on those 2 tanks, we could end up in a really bad situation where they cap us out really quickly, and it could just be absolutely terrible. So me, Daniger, and I think Fimo, is it Fimo in a medium? No, that'll be Pike in his medium. We've all pushed back to this house in front of me here. I've obviously got a bit excited. We've kept 2 heavies on C9 to trade with their tanks that are pushing down the C road. And what we're going to look to do is engage the tanks that have pushed down the A road. Now, we're in a really good position here. We've got hard cover. We can get hold down. E5 is really good tank to be in this position. The 57 is 140 side scraping, using its rate of fire just to punish the tanks that we've caught out in the open. Those tanks that are pushed down those hills have literally no cover except for the armor that they come with. So E5, you can obviously angle first shot, second shot into him. It's a premium clip, so I'm not too worried. Bit of a mistake on my part. I should have put the shot into the E5 rather than wasted it on the AMX-50. It's got to the point in the game where they've got 1 heavy left pushing down the 8 line. They're still pushing aggressively down the 7 line. We've lost a tank. They've lost a tank. They've got a TD that is sitting on D9, but he's not really able to get shots at anything. So it's a tank that's completely wasted there. He just doesn't have enough ability to shoot anything. They've tried to push down the D line. The only thing that's really going wrong from here is they've got their tanks pretty much all over the place, and we're able to focus on piecemeal parts of their force, using pretty much all our force to deal with them. So they're being outgunned. We've got more HP, more armor to deal with the damage they're putting out in each little mini location. And all we need to do once we've dealt with each group of tanks is just move on to the next with our overwhelming numbers. As you can see here, that's exactly what's happened down their push down the 0 line. They've got 2 heavies that are still fighting. They've got a TD on the hill, but it's pretty much game over at this point because we're all together still, and we can still do a lot of damage here. Obviously, Dan's bit the dust. I'm using his carcass there a little bit, and I'm just firing shells into their AMX-50. They've got to face towards me. They've got to face our tanks that are pushing down the A line. So it's been a really good plan by Dan here that worked really well. Just keep everyone congregated, and just to be as reactive as possible to wherever they push, and just to look to overwhelm them. The only thing that I would say is when we've played Max D previously, which is the clan we're fighting, we've noticed there have been a lot of times when we've played them when they've split their forces up quite thin, pushing several areas with 2 tanks, 3 at most. So we knew if we stayed together and focused on a couple of areas or 1 or 2 areas at once, we'd find our overmatches, and pushing those overmatches means we'll win those fights. We're fighting less tanks and less guns in the game. So our pretty much main aim through this entire clan fight was literally to keep as many of our guns in the game as possible, share the damage out as much as possible, and take out as many of their guns as quickly as possible, which is pretty much the fundamentals from my very limited experience in clan fights. I should probably put out at this point, we're very graciously, by one of the subscribers, Pro, offered a clan fight against UP. The timing's been a bit of a pain, but I was really hoping I'd be able to show you this, well, that video next week, but we're just working out times on it still. So the next video we have coming up, obviously we have a victory there, is the second round of the fight. We should have changed spawn locations, but it really happened really quickly. One of their guys had to drop off, so it was more of a fun round. You can obviously see they've thrown in 3 waffles, 2 E5s, an AMX-50B, and I think it was an IS-4. Sorry, a Saint Emil. So we're literally just going to look to do the exact same thing. We're going to leave a couple of mediums just to spot some of the other approaches, and we're going to go for a really aggressive approach down the 0 line. What we're hoping is, because we didn't push the 0 line last time, we catch him by surprise, and it's, you know, something a little bit interesting that'll hopefully had them laughing, wondering what the hell we were doing. As you can see, we've left plenty of mediums covering our base. We have medium on D6 that's covering the entire middle, as well as able to spot to the 8 line if anything pushes along there. We're just trundling along up to the hill, quite happy. We've got another medium on the B line that is spotting the entire B line. We're just going to push as aggressively as possible, as quickly as possible, up this hill. Now, this isn't something you would normally do with heavy tanks. The reason for that is, as you can see, it is very slow going up this hill. They could be repositioned absolutely anywhere, and we could have been in a lot of trouble doing this push. But at this point, we knew we had won the fight overall, so we thought we'd try something, as I said, a little bit different. We're getting a little bit antsy at this point, wondering where the hell they actually are. So we've not spotted them anywhere, so due to process elimination, they are pushing the 1, 2, 3 line, and they're pushing it quite aggressively with pretty much everything, because we have spotted nothing. So we send one of our mediums to have a little cheeky look around. We spot a TD. It's at this point we realise they are pushing very aggressively. There's no way we're spotting a TD at the by itself. So pretty much everything that's going to be there. Mediums pull back. We'll rush back down the hill and look to get into position to deal with a push down the ABC line. What you're going to see here is, again, this is, you know, all Dan, and what makes him such a really good caller. He got us all in position where we needed to be, and the beauty of the location that the heavies have rushed back to is we can punish their tanks that are pushing there without being spotted. So there may be a waffle there and an E5. We each got a free shot in without being spotted, which basically means that, you know, it's damage for nothing. We're putting shots in without taking damage in return. Against waffles, you know, that's a really big deal, since they can pretty much clip any one of us out. But their sort of clip potential is just being completely invalidated because they can't spot us, because obviously Dan's got our mediums in front of us and our heavies in front of us that are lighting them up. They're not able to push because they're out of cover, and we're not able to get spotted. Obviously we're getting sort of spotted and detected at this point, 424 meters. But for a lot of it, we're able to get off shots for free, and that's a really big deal. So great job getting that done, Dan. We've, I want to say, caught them out in the open. This is the position we had them in last time. So what they should have ideally been doing is taking up the location we did, look to get hold down and just to trade with us more effectively. What's happened here is they've been caught in the open. Rather than pulling back, they've stayed in the open. They really could have just literally done what we did to them and just tear us up as we have to push down the hill. Unfortunately, they didn't do it, so it was just a situation where we were just able to take them apart. Our entire force isn't even here at this point, so we've done a lot of very effective trading. One of our mediums, heavies, and TDs is holding the middle courtyard, just getting shots in up the 5 line. But at this point, because they didn't pull back to a more defensive location that they'd seen us take up, well, they've just moved into it now. They weren't able to trade effectively, even though they had more tanks, more guns, and definitely a lot more damage potential in the area. It's because they weren't able to take advantage of that we're able to pull through here and pretty much just take them out again and pull through to a second win. At this point, the clan fight is pretty much just mopping up time. Just want to say thank you to Max D for obviously having a couple of games with us over the space of 2 weeks. Really appreciate it, guys. You let us get the rust off a little bit. Let me know what you think of this series, guys, this clan fight series. I hope you're enjoying it, or at least informative. It's informative for me doing it, but I hope you're enjoying it. Guys, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you next time, chaps.